Hi guys, back once again for another video. Hi, it's Anthony from Hell Dominance. Please like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell if you're enjoying the content and want to see more. I'm bringing you this video now because there are a couple of games on this Thursday night and I thought I'd give you a bit of reaction. If you'd like to see more of these immediate reaction videos, please let me know and I'll try my best to do as many as I can. So the first game that we're going to look at is the Wigan versus Cas game. This is going to be a good game as Castleford have just come off a 50-point win against Lee, and Wigan is still finding the legs, but have won every single game of the Super League so far this season. Wigan welcome back Bevan French for his first start of the season, where Harry Smith has actually come in for Tommy Lulai, who has a sternum injury, and Liam Byrne comes back in for his first appearance since his one-game ban. That leaves Hanley left out of the squad for today's match. On the Castleford side, Jordan Turner and Jake Truman are in the halves. Tyler Heppy starts at prop, and Brad Martin is on the bench for his first appearance in 2021. So after a high shot by Wigan in the first 6 minutes, there was no advantage come from that, but this letter of intent came from, I'm using that one, a letter of intent came from Castleford when they hit a 40-20, but unfortunately on the third tackle the referee called a forward pass. It was a shame, but it was a theme for the half when Cas got into position that Jordan Turner was putting the kicks in. On the 12th minute, Wigan were pinged for a high tackle, so the penalty went to Cas. This all led to a couple minutes later when Darryl Alford scored a try, where Massey Turner standing on the 10 and Metaltia shipped the ball wide to the corner for the first try of the game. Paul McShane, who had taken over kicking duties for this game, converted from well wide out with a great short punt type conversion, making it 6-0. Alford's fumbled from the kickoff, but when the match restarted, but unfortunately Cas survived. Again, Turner was picking up the pieces and making the kicks to the edges and out of play easily. And this, as I said, wasn't the first time that he'd done it. He'd been controlling the kicking and controlling the positioning on that at that time. After an offside by Castleford on the 20th minute, Hardacre broke a couple of minutes later through the Castleford line, and Cas caught up for the tackle. But straight from that tackle, Harry Smith made a line break and was ankle tapped by Greg Millington. Great tackle for the 34-year-old. But Harry Smith threw a speculative pass out, and it just looped into a Wigan hand, and that was Zach Hardacre scoring his first try of the game. And he went on to convert that as well, as it was close to the post, more central, so it made it 6-6. The game had a couple of penalties, but no 6 agains. But on the 26th minute, the first 6 again was called, so Cas got the ball back for another set of 6. I just keep putting notes down, and Turner was running the half for Cas at this point. It was running the show in the halves. It shows that he has the quality and was good to come back. A couple of minutes later, Wigan were called for offside, which was followed up by a second penalty by Powell and Partington, holding the player down. Cas decided to, as it was 30 yards out, they'll go for the 2. So that means that Paul McShane converted to make it 8-6 to Castleford at this time. Straight from the kickoff, Wigan, after a couple of tackles, were caught trying to steal the ball, so there was a penalty there. And Cas worked the field position so that they could get into the Wigan 10-20 yard line. And then on the 5th tackle, Castleford try a kick to the right, where they'd reclaimed it, passed it a couple of times to try and get position, and then another kick from the right side came in to the left side, and you thought, Castleford, they got it again, they're going to score here on this tackle. It was just chance in the hand. Unfortunately, the referee gave a knock on for Wigan to go and get the ball back for their set of 6. This led to an offside on the 36th minute by Castleford from the halfway line, which ultimately led to Bevan French scoring his first try of the season on his return back to the team. It went through the hands, wide out right to the left, as Bevan French was playing left wing today with Hardacre playing at fullback. That's from the start. That could change at half time. And the Wigan Flyers scored his first of the season. After he was about 20 yards out, the Wigan had gone through the hands and worked it wide. Castleford sliding defence didn't slide enough. Bevan French scooted in round the outside of the Castleford backs to score in the corner. Zach Hardacre had the attempt to convert, and he did. It was 12-8 from this score. I have made a note on this at the same time, and while this was all going on, Ethan Havard and Liam Byrne were both on the pitch at the time. Coincidence? I think not. For every point that Wigan scored, Ethan Havard was scored. He was on the pitch. He came on the 16th minute, and since then, when them two boys finally came together, Byrne, I think, was on the 20th minute. So let's have a quick look. 28th minute. So from that, Wigan had just scored to make it 6-all, and that's when they decided to bring on Liam Byrne, the second Bash brother, I like to call him. Mighty Ducks. But yeah, that's where we're left at half time. 12 points to 8. Wigan leading against Castleford. As you would expect for the second half to begin, Castleford came out all guns blazing, and it showed that when Paul McShane attempted a ball steal in the first minute of the second half, which unfortunately had more than one man in the tackle, which gave Wigan a penalty. Smith then forces a goal line dropout, which Wigan fumble after returning in Castleford's 20, and Eden breaks to the halfway line with Hardacre tackling hard. A few tackles later, the referee has called up an attempt of a try from Darryl Alfords, due to a fantastic effort in defence by Bevan French, but the in-goal referee calls the referee over, consults him, and the try is given. It was great play by Castleford, and it deserved a try. There was some great overlapping play by Cass, which spread from one wing to the other. Greg Eden got it on the left-hand side of the pitch, and it went through all the hands to Darryl Alfords, and he finished off in the corner. Unfortunately, this time Paul McShane missed the conversion, but it made the score 12-12. Hastings on the 52nd minute, after a break from Hardacre from the 20 metre line to the 50 metre line, and also at the same time Niall Evans was tackling the ref, Chris Kendall, for you KR fans, he kicks it into the space from about the 40 to 45 metre line in the left hand corner, giving Bevan French a 20-yard run free to pick up the ball and then just score on the left-hand side of the posts. At this point, Zach Hardacre misses the conversion, and the scores are 16-12. Straight from the kick-off, Joe Bullock gets the ball and just goes on a run. It's a fresh man from the bench. and he's a rampaging run, which, as the Castleford Tigers defenders were coming together, leaves Greg Millington on the floor, skittled a couple of Cas players, Joe Bullock, which sends Millington off the pitch for a head assessment. After all this, there was a few more plays, and the high kick to the left hand side, and Evans does a great catch on the 5th, but Wigan are on top at this point. Zero tackle is called after this during this set after Wigan touched the ball, but it wasn't heard by either the Castleford players or the referee. The call was coming from the touch judges, and they were saying 6 again, 6 again, 6 again, and you can hear it through our league. And it turned out that Cas player kicked as if it was a 5th tackle, because the referee was signalling 5th tackle. My own thoughts on this is John Bateman is not yet settled into this Wigan side. He will come good because he's that type of player who'll give you everything every single game, but it's the adjustment period for some reason after he's come back from Australia. It's not settled for him yet. Anyway, so we'll continue with the that's my opinion. Not everyone can have the different opinions on that front, but that's what I'm getting. May change a look in a couple of games, but hopefully. So on the 60th minute, the referee gets called onto the pitch due to a high tackle by the linesman. Not the linesman calling it, not by the referee causing a high tackle. That would be weird. Due to a nice getting a heavy shot by Shenton on the halfway. But then the referee has some adjustments made to his microphone and his earpieces, so that answers the question about the 5th tackle error. The set after the penalty, the set continues, and Powell is held up on a yard out on the last tackle, and at this point Wigan start throwing themselves into the tackle, but they push too hard, literally. As a Wigan player pushes down hard on the Castleford's man, basically rubbing his face into the ground, and give Castleford a penalty 5 metres out in front of their own sticks. Just lets them off, completely lets them off. Pressure's gone. Kick to the touch. Remember, it's still 12-all at this point. So the Wigan get the ball back, do a few set on their own 10, I'd say, and they kick back to Darrell Alford's around about 25 metres out from the Castleford line, and the knock-on calls are being shouted out by the Wigan players against Darrell Alford's, but the referee said no, he shinned it. Everyone, even the commentary team, say that it looks like that he shinned it. Yeah, he knocked on. Then Brad Singleton messes in the tackle, giving Castleford another 6 tackles, and all of a sudden Cas start getting momentum back because Wigan are called a couple of minutes later for a penalty for being offside. But Wigan are still dangerous as Cas survived. A minute later, Wigan power playing, off the cuff efforts from wing to wing carried by Farrell, who passes on to Bateman, and Farrell continued his run, went round Bateman, and he tried tipping it on to Jake Bibby, who was free if it went straight to him, but no, he went forward, hit the ground and went up, and Bibby picked up and put it down. Knock on wasn't given. So we're continuing with Castleford going up the field, but the very next play on the 4th, Harry Smith has got the ball in the Cas 20 and decides to kick into the in-goal area, and it just dribbles out over the goal line. But Cas get the ball back and the momentum, and 6 again is called by as Bateman is holding down the Castleford attacker. they go up, they carry on going up towards the Wigan goal line, and Cass's passing is excellent, symbolised by Evil's offload to Alford's on the last, but it came to nothing unfortunately, as Partington's great defence keeps Cass out around about 10 metres from the line. On the return, Zach Hardacre makes good yards, and Massey touches the ball to the ground in the Castleford 40, leading to Wigan having a new set of 6. Cass uses the new ball steal rule, where you can get as many men in the tackle as possible, one man trying to pry the ball out, and then as the other defenders are letting go, he can try and steal it, with Liam Watts in his own 10 yards to get the ball back. But it didn't work for Blair Steele a couple of minutes later. Chase Blair, as he tried to ball steal a couple of minutes later, and a Wigan penalty was called, but also in the same set, a 6 again is called, which causes Powell to dig his way into the Castleford area, just right to the sticks to score for Wigan, which Hardacre genuinely gleefully converts against his old team. On the 77th minute, Castleford take a short kick-off to try and get back into it, and it's claimed by Bateman. And the fifth tackle knock-on in the Cast 20 is called by Wigan, and then Wigan are called offside. A few minutes later, coming up to the 79th minute, and a few tackles later, Cast knock-on in the Wigan's 40, essentially ending the game. That means that the scores ended Wigan 22, Castleford 12. Earl Crabtree gave Zach Hardacre the man of the match, and on that game basis, with the amount of breaks that he did during the game and the tries that he scored, I would agree he was the player of the match. Don't get me wrong, Bevan French gave him a run for his money because he was excellent under the ball. Every bit of pressure was nothing to him, but Cass has lost their 100% record, and Wigan's carries on. So now we're going to game 2 of the evening, and that is Huddersfield hosting St Helens, which is shown on Sky this evening. Huddersfield have Gaskell starts at fullback, Sam Woods at centre, and James Garvett also returns to the squad. While Saints have Mark Percival back after 3 games, and Sione Metautia returns to the starting 13 for the first time after a couple of games out. So we get into the 4th minute, and James Bentley hits a hard tackle and sets up Saints' attack. Coots on the 5th kicks, and then Bentley catches, offloads to Farge, who touches down just left of the sticks. Video referee is called to check the offside and a challenge in the air, but it's all fine and a try is given. Lachlan Coote converts, and it's 6-0 to Saints. More or less straight from the kick-off, Huddersfield are pinged for a penalty. High tackle by the Huddersfield man, so the Saints can march upfield. And then there was one return a minute later by Saints, a high tackle in the Huddersfield 20. So one of the only times that Huddersfield actually get into the half into the 20 of Saints. Huddersfield plays a high kick, which Regan Grace fumbles, and Lomax recovers just. Yates hits a great tackle on the big man. He shows that why he's a 50-metre tackle average player every single game. This is a 10 minutes in, and it was one to look at. Really good, small man, big man tackle. McIntosh, as the play carries on, McIntosh feels a high bomb on his own 1 metre line, 6 again is called during the set, and then a couple of tackles later, penalty for offside against Saints. But they're committing all these errors and penalties in Huddersfield's 20. That's an idea of what sort of pressure they're trying to put on. So they work it upfield, and they get into the Saints 30, and Aidan Caesar, the ball player for Huddersfield, is pinged for a forward pass. It was a blatant forward pass, and he admitted it. He put his hand up and apologised. Percival knocks on in contact during a big run during the next set of 6, which leads Huddersfield to go up the field quicker and further than they have been during the entire game, and it leads to a 5th tackle attempt. Kick into the corner, the left corner as Huddersfield are looking towards the posts, and the Huddersfield players caught it. The guy has tackled him in the air, and then Theo Farge recovers that ball, knocks it on, and the referee gives it Saints ball. That was a wrong shout. That was completely the wrong shout. The referee needed to get help from the video referee at that point, or the touch judge, because he would have been right there. So a little bit of pressure taken off because of that, and then because it gives them the ball back, Saints, and they march up to their own 35-yard, where Huddersfield are called for offside. That gives Saints more attempt to march further up the field, and McIntosh is tackled into touch from a high kick. He caught it on his own 1 or 2 yards out, tried to run it out, and the Saints players swarmed him and pushed him out of touch. Didn't lead to too much as Metalchia knocks on, but the defence is on top, mostly Saints at this point, and Huddersfield look like they're hanging on. They're really hanging on. A relieving penalty comes along with Huddersfield getting it because of the Saints player getting in touch of Adam Caesar as he was trying to pick up the ball at the player of the ball. They march upfield, they get towards the 20 and put up the high bomb, which is won by the Huddersfield winger, or centre at this point, because McGilvray hasn't been anywhere near the high bomb. Apart from one instance, they've been unlucky on that front, and Saints have been losing out on that front. So they need to get over the advantage line a bit more, Huddersfield, during the game. Saints' defence is strong, keeps coming up, apart from that high bombs. And they march upfield, they're getting over the advantage line, Saints, they're marauding, they're getting forward, and they put up a high bomb to Huddersfield's right hand side, where Jermaine McGilvray puts a high bomb up again, gets onto a high bomb, defends it really well. So as a set is returned after that by St Helens, as they didn't make too many yards, Huddersfield again. The ball is touched by near the halfway line by a Huddersfield player, which goes to the ground. So Saints get 6 tackles again there, and because of messing about in the play of the ball area again, they get a 6 again called after two tackles later. But then one of the things that got me was Johnny Lomax went into a tackle and the defender just bounced off. It was a hard hit attempt, but he bounced off straight away. O'Brien for Huddersfield was taken off for a HIA assessment. He's one of the high tacklers in the game. So yeah, that's a bit of a loss for now. We don't know if he's coming back or not. as Saints are coming closer towards the Huddersfield line during this set, they put a grubber kick in towards the touchline, which Matty English picked up. The prop did really well to do that. He had it in one hand, but Lachlan Coote comes along and attempts to kick it out of his hand, which causes a penalty to be given to Huddersfield. Can't do that because he missed and kicked his arm. Anyway, so that's a bit of a relief for Huddersfield, or so you thought. At this point, I noted Huddersfield have been near or in the the Saints 20 twice during the first half an hour of the game, and it's been all Saints at this point. And that's because Lachlan Coote, Theo Farge and Johnny Lomax were leading Saints around excellently during the entire first half. And all of a sudden it starts getting worse for Huddersfield as the pressure starts to toll. Carl Amor burrows his way over the line, and held up is called by the referee and sends it up to the video referee just in case. And they given it as no try. So the Saints get the ball back on the Huddersfield 10 to complete the set, and as they have one tackle left, and they went one out, and that puts the end to that. At this point it's still 6-0 to Saints. Remember, Saints were 0-0 to Wakefield last time out and scored 32 unanswered points. It ended up 34-6. Huddersfield are seriously not getting over the advantage line. According to the reports, Saints had almost double the amount of yards made during the first half than Huddersfield made during their entire first half. And it's just about whenever they get in the tackle, they're not getting over the 10 meters that they need to make, which is the average for any forward momentum. If you're getting 8, 9, 10, that's good. That's good. They're not getting 8. They may be getting 7 sometimes. That's meters up the field every time that they've got the ball in hand. So, this is the start of the pressure. Start of even more pressure, should I say, as Theo Farge works Saints up the field, gets the ball out wide on the 20, kicks a diagonal kick under the post for people to compete for. And Kenny Edwards of Huddersfield comes up, tries to catch it, and it bounces out. And this was done on his own 10-yard line. Saints recover it on the 30 because it bounced that far, but it was tackled immediately. Because there was no advantage, they call it for the knock-on, which means Saints get the ball on the 10. During the set that comes afterwards, 6 again is called, so Saints get another set of 6 during that 6. The game is stopped on the 34th minute as this was all going on, because Lachlan Coote was in a bad way due to a heavy tackle by McGillvray. But it's a fantastic tackle. It's a hard tackle, but he wasn't expecting it. He was in the motion of releasing the ball. Not wrong with the tackle. So after that stoppage, Saints carried on with the play, and it got to the 5th tackle, dribbled the ball into the end goal area, where McGillvray is tackled after receiving the ball. So it's drop out under the sticks, so Saints get the ball back. So they go low, it goes about 40 metres, and they come back, and Saints again. They go to the other side, dribble the ball into the own goal area. McIntosh is tackled in the in goal area. Drop out again. Saints will get the ball back, and they go high this time. And a note on this bit, the pressure, it's coming, meaning the second try of the game. And not long after, Saints get a set restart starting the Huddersfield 10 yards due to messing about in the play of the ball, and the ball goes out to Percival on the right hand side, about 10 metres in from the touchline, who scores. It's an easy running, to be fair. Pass, easy running. Don't think he'd beat one man. And the left-footed Coote successfully converts that one from the right hand side, as it's a great angle to curve it straight in. So yeah, a few moments after Huddersfield kick it into the half of St Helens for the restart of the game, a minute and 15 seconds later, so they had a good sustained 8 minutes of pressure. Half time comes along, 12-0 to Saints. So we're coming to the second half, and Huddersfield come out like the mean in business. Huddersfield are throwing the ball wider in every set that they're doing, trying to get over that advantage line, and they're also trying to offloading the tackle. This is all going on in the first 2 minutes of the second half, and then on the 43rd minute, Huddersfield do a 40-20. I think it's Jake Cogger or who did that to get up the pitch, and then it causes more pressure because Theo Tharge spills a Huddersfield last tackle kick on his own 10 for Edwards to pick up the ball, which in a few tackles later McQueen scores in the corner after scoring that controversial try in OKR last week. Actually gets the ball down properly this time. So yeah, and it was given straight away on the field. Unfortunately, Aiden Caesar, that's the one, misses the conversion. So that makes it 4 points to 12. So I'm looking at my notes. Kenny Edwards steps out of play and catches the ball on the floor straight from the kickoff. So that makes it a penalty on the because the ball went out on the full. That essentially means for Huddersfield on the 50-yard line. Huddersfield are eager in the tackle now, as they're getting closer and closer to the Saints line. They're completing their sets, and they are completing them right close to the Saints line. But Saints is winning the battle overall, as they're always finishing the positioning arm wrestle right on the goal line of Huddersfield, on their own goal line. And the arm wrestle continues until the 54th minute, when a forward pass from Yates to Jones on the halfway line during the fourth tackle. And moments later, Saints lose Wingfield to cuts on the head and a HIA assessment. Again, Saints are winning the possession game in the arm wrestle, because they turn over a complete set of possession on the Huddersfield about 2 metres out. Cogger also picks another kick out, this time not quite 40-20, as he was outside the 40-metre line, which bounced over Lachlan Coote's head. It was very relieving, and Huddersfield needed it at that time because they were pinned. They were getting pinned out there. They were still trading completions at this point as well, completions of sets. Huddersfield were getting a bit more joy, but Saints were still winning that arm wrestle. So we're getting to the 59th minute, where Saints three-man tackle forces the Huddersfield man back 10 yards, which means that their set only went 30 metres this time. That means they caught the ball on the 20 from the Saints completing their set, which was a good position war for that, and then they returned it to the halfway line. Didn't get any further than that. You would expect at that point they'd be completing their set closer towards the Saints line. But that big tackle with 3 men in it was a momentum shifter on that. And it worked because Saints completed their set close to the line again through that tackle. And Huddersfield set up got to their own 30, especially got to their own 20 only on their set because of the Saints tackling. Then Regan Grace came alive. He stepped out of a couple of tackles to get up to the 40-metre line, as the kick was a good one from Huddersfield that got it over to the Saints 40-metre line, and he returned it to the Huddersfield 40-metre line. So a good 20-metre run, stepping out a couple of tackles. This set up a Saints drive for Lomax. They worked the ball to just the left-hand side of the posts again, about 10 metres away from that side of the posts, where the young half-back Dodd picks up the ball from the tackle and just carries it a couple of yards and passes off to Lomax, who was challenged as he was going over the line, but then got the ball down. It was a relatively easy kick for Lachlan Coote, who successfully converted to make the scores 18-4. Straight from the kickoff though, McGilvray was unhappy with how the effort was going and put a huge hit on Lomax. It sent him sprawling, so it was a bit of a reverse from the first half. Huddersfield were buoyed by this. They were pinned back from the kick, but they also got 2 6 against, 2 calls of sets of 6 to get them up to near the halfway line. Kenny Edwards was trying to play the ball on the halfway line, and the referee said he played it incorrectly, giving a penalty, giving a knock-on to St Helens. At this point we had Yates of Huddersfield on 58 tackles, the highest in the match at that point. But I need to shout out to Danny Houghton, who for Huddersfield in their 14-14 draw, for Hull in their 14-14 draw against Warrington last week, did a magnificent 85 tackles. That's a Super League record. He beat the previous record of 82 by one, I think it was Danny Houghton. Yes, he beat his own record by 3 tackles in a game. That's some going, it really is. So Saints attempts to kick into the in-goal area from that set of 6, but it dribbles out harmlessly, and Huddersfield get the ball back on the 20. And this led to another attack for Huddersfield. Caesar gets the ball on the 69th minute and kicks into the right corner, which had a little bit of space for McGilvray to pick up and run a couple of yards. He was getting closed down, so he flings it round the back into play to try and give it to McQueen, but it was too low for McQueen, who, with his sausage fingers, as we know from last week, that's on the ball, unfortunately. I'm only joking there. It's just it's going to be remembered for quite some time. Saints knock on immediately after that set, in their own set, on the 30-metre line from their own goal line, which means that Huddersfield score. The ball is shipped out to a right wing, and Cogger is carrying the ball. He's run into the in-goal area, not sure he didn't quite realise where he were, so he passed it to McGilvray, who scores right in the corner. I mean, if you were diving for a try, you couldn't get it closer to the post, to the corner flag. So it was one of the hardest kicks of the night for Aidan Caesar. Oh, but he puts it over. It's making it 10-18 to Saints. And this is only on the 71st minute, and you thought they had hope. Saints might capitulate here. They might not enjoy the pressure that's going on. but the arm wrestle came back. Both teams completing sets, and Saints doing what they do, grinding field position, knocking it into the backfield high so that players have to catch it right near the line, not in the goal, just outside, because if they catch it in the wrong goal, they get the ball back where they get the ball on the 20-metre line as a 0 tackle, so they get 7 tackles if they go on, if they catch it in the wrong goal line. But they made sure, Saints, that they weren't reaching that far, maybe 2 metres out, so they can't step in or anything like that. Saints again had the ball on one set on the 76th minute, put up the ball into the corner, and Darnell McIntosh has gone up to catch it, and you're not allowed to tackle in the air. But that didn't stop Kevin Nagama coming in and basically shoulder charging the player in the air. Penalty only given because it was shoulder to shoulder contact, but it was in the air, dangerous contact. It should have been a lot more, but it was a 76th minute as well, so I think that was taken into account because of the sim min only. From that set, that penalty, McGilvray tries to offload in his own 40-metre line, which Saints actually recover. Saints get to the right side, where on the last, Sam Wood hits a great ball on all tackle to finish the set for Saints, about 10 metres out. It was a fantastic tackle, but it was so late in the game. But that didn't stop Huddersfield trying and to expand their game in their own half, throwing it to the right wing with a kick. This is all being played in their own 40 metres, and he put a kick in back into the middle, McGilvray, which was picked up on the 60 metres out front, well, on the 40-metre line of the Saints half by Theo Farge, and Saints methodically go down the pitch again. And when it gets to one-on-one with Bentley and Woods again, Woods takes Bentley into touch with another great tackle. Don't get me wrong, Huddersfield did enough to lose on this game. Saints did everything right. Bentley, but the Huddersfield team proved that they were not for giving up any tackles at all. You can just carry on playing till the end. We've got a great conditioning coach that was brought over from Salford. You can tell that with the amount of games that they won and converted into league position and get into cup finals and the Challenge Cup, for the Challenge Cup and the Super League Grand Final. So it just takes a bit of time for Huddersfield. I'm not worried about them being dragged into a bottom 3, bottom 4 situation, because they're showing heart and scoring more points than the others against the big teams. They gave the man of the match to I think it was Lachlan Coote, because he was a general through the entire game and his conversions were really great. And I would agree that it's a great effort from Saints going forward, a great effort from Huddersfield in defence, but they do need to get that cohesion better and better. So that's my review of the games tonight in the Super League. Some good performances there, some great defensive efforts from Huddersfield and Saints, and one of my predictions, as you've seen in the previous video, I'm going to go all the way with that steadfast, grind out positional play that they have, and that is Saints. I do think that they're going to win it, but they're going to have some serious competition. One of the first teams to lose their 100% record went tonight in Castleford. Huddersfield is still yet to win the game, and Wigan have got their explosive forward backline back. Well, almost. We've not seen one of their players, as he was out for a thigh injury for some time, and I hope Arrow gets back soon so that we can watch all three of the backline do their business. And there are some good players on show that are going to develop him into really, really top class players for the Super League, even possibly the NRL. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and click that notification bell. And also, as soon as you subscribe, you're in for a treat. You could be one of the 10 people that receive Hell Dominance merchandise, our very first t-shirts. So that's always a good thing. Something for free just for watching a video and liking the channel and subscribing. But enough waffle from me. I will see you in the next video. Bye now.